So, for this afternoon session, I will start with the Philippine vernacular architecture where I got my inspiration for the aerodynamic and design for climate resilient housing. And it's a 30 square meter floor area model. So, but I'll start with a 30 square meter model, but I'll end up with a 3,000 square meter lifestyle house. So you will see the variety of the projects that I have undertaken. And then also I will talk about the gravity-defying hillside homes that I have designed in Cebu recently, which is the Stiletto House. So being an architect and interior designer at the same time is really more challenging, but at the same time it's more beneficial because when you create a masterpiece, you create it from the foundation to the architecture and even to the furnishing and to the fine details of the interior. So that's really like, you can put your passion into the project very well. Okay? So let me also talk about, as I go along, I'm not only talking about architecture, but also like eco details, eco design parameters. So I will share to you my expertise in this field. Okay. Let's start with the Kalinga House. After the Yolanda typhoon, when I saw on screen the architecture for the Vice Mayor of Tacloban that I have did, that was covered by Ted Filon, that was the house that was really smashed and covered by Ted. He was there in the house when it happened. So, a month after Yolanda, I went back to Tacloban and investigated really the area, what happened to the buildings, the houses, and everything. And you will see the devastation. And then, but also you learn what you can do. Okay, so immediately I asked myself, as an architect, what should I do to contribute to a climate resilient house? So, the first thing I did is go back to history, and it brought me to the Kalinga House in Cordillera, because the northern region is, of course, has been there. These houses have been there and have survived typhoons. So if you notice the Kalinga House, they have a very high-pitched roof. And having a high-pitched roof really is beneficial to tropical climate because it balances the windward force on the right and the leeward wind on the left. So it nababalansin yung positive and negative. So yun ang advantage ng high pitch. And if you notice the configuration of this house, the corners are chamfered. Hindi siya square. So let us proceed to the plan. You will see it's octagonal. So talagang pag tinamaan ng hangin, having this kind of floor plan and building and massing is really beneficial for a tropical climate. So that's the inside. Always, the lower part of the traditional vernacular Filipino architecture are always for service area. So the living space is always up, raised from the ground. And also the lower part, as we all know, is being used for agricultural function. Diyan linalagay yung mga manok, baboy, kambing, kalabaw, etc. But kung mangingisda ka naman, usually diyan linalagay yung mga bangka, lambat, etc. So, okay. Then there's the Ifugao house, which also have a high pitch roof. But if you notice, the walls are wedge shaped, which also like lessens the impact of the wind. So that's the advantage of having wedge shaped walls. But also having it raised from the ground, lumulusot lang yung wind sa ilalim, kaya hindi, it lessens the pressure on the building or on the architecture. Details, you're very familiar with that. Okay. So after that, I created the Eco House. The Eco House, if you know, is the energy efficient house that is also like, that uses less energy. So, but then I coined the word Eco House because it's like economically sustainable, ecologically sustainable and economically affordable. So that it became the Eco House, which I registered from the Intellectual Property Office. So both the architecture design and the name has been registered. So I did a study. Of course, you can see three figures. A typical square plan, which absorbs 100% of the wind force. Then the second one is what I call the star rise. And that will, if it's hit by the wind force, okay, it's reduced. And also the last one is what I call the diamond. So nare-reduce yung wind pressure by having such a configuration. Okay, it's very important for a tropical design. So that's the floor plan. If you notice, the ground floor, now I use as a service area. So in modern times, wala na masyadong manok, wala nang baboy, wala nang kalabaw. What you can put down is like, you can have a tricycle, a pedicab, a sari-sari store, a multi-cab. So it becomes a multifunctional space. And the second floor, we raise the living space on the second floor so that you will have the living space. Tsaka in case of flooding, you are sure that you can survive. But beyond that, you will see later how I solve the problem of flooding. Okay, so that's the architecture. So on the ground floor, I want the walls to be permeable as much as possible. So I designed a grill door para kung may tubig, lulusot lang ang tubig. So kung may gamit ka sa ilalim, it will be kept inside, lulusot ang tubig, pero yung gamit mo nasa loob pa rin. Mapuputikan lang siya, but you can always wash them. So you can keep it together. And then, having the stairs outside is beneficial kasi you can easily access from the outside. But if you will see the grills on the right side of the balconahe, that can be an access for you just in case umabot yung flood to the second floor, pwede kang umakyat dyan, papunta dun sa bubungan. Kasi normally, ang problema, di ba, how do you get up into the roof kung wala naman hagdanan? So, that parang grill work, pwedeng sampayan, pwedeng the same time pagkapangan mo ng buganbilya, but in case of a disaster, pwede mong gamitin hagdanan papunta sa roof. Now, the roof is not an ordinary roof. It's a concrete roof already. So, hindi matibay talaga siya. It can withstand the impact of 320 kilometers per hour wind. So, this house is practically all concrete. But para to lessen the heat, we have put an additive to lessen the heat absorption into the roof. That's another view. That's a star rise. And I use the traditional awning window so that it's more very Filipino. At the same time, pag may bagyo, isarado mo lang yan. And the locking mechanism is the old system na di ba linulusot lang yung kahoy. So that's very matibay. Kesa yung mga ordinary na mga hinges na nagliliparan yan during the typhoon. Okay. So this is now the diamond. It's practically the same concept except the shape is different. So you still have the service area on the ground floor and the living space on the second floor. It's a 2-bedroom house. So yeah, it's 34 square meters on the ground and 37 on the second floor. So, okay, the same shape, 4 aguas. The hagdanan is the staircase is outside, the balconahe, and then there's always the grills or parang the ladder that you can access into the roof at time of calamity. That's another view. Okay. That's the Diamond Eco House. So it has been featured by the Coconut Manila, the e-magazine, which you can access online. You can see this. You can Google this and you can see the details. Now I move on to the lifestyle houses. Okay, in creating architecture, you know, in the global competitiveness, we all aspire to achieve a distinctive architecture. So I'm showing this because there are always trends that's happening all around. Now, following trends is not bad, but at the same time, it's kind of scary in a way that's either madali kang maluma, kumbaga sa fashion, pag sumunod ka sa uso, pwedeng madaling malaos. But if you can create a distinct architecture, then you can be like above the rest. So, in the global competitiveness, that's what they're looking for. So even in the services, yun yung hinahanap ng mga kliyente. So you always have to be different in such manner na you have a bold gesture to create in your architecture. So what I mean by bold gesture is a distinctive style na pag tinignan mo yung bahay, kakaiba. First, I'll show you the stiletto house, which is what I call a gravity-defying house. Of course, I don't know if anybody among you ladies are wearing a stiletto tonight, this afternoon. But of course, ladies wear stiletto because it makes them feel sexy. So in architecture, of course, the weight of the woman is being carried by the tip of the heel. So, of course, that's physics. So yung gravity nandun sa heel. Okay. The site is in Cebu. It's in Beverly Hills. It's right below the Taoist temple. So it's a 800 square meter lot, and it's pretty steep. It's about 31 degrees slope down. In other ASEAN countries, yung 31 to 35 is considered unbuildable. So, pero that's why I was like smiling when I heard about that. But then, we can create something, still make it more structurally sound. Okay, this is the side, this is the lot. You have the entrance, the road on the top, and a service entrance by the bottom with the driveway. So practically that's the lot. Okay, well in Feng Shui it's good because you have a narrow entrance and a wider rear lot, so it's like a coin purse. So Feng Shui like it kasi swerte yan. Don't you dare create an architecture na dustpan, pag maluwag yung bunganga, malas yun. Kasi yung pera daw ng titira doon palabas. Kaya hanapin nyo dapat yung makipot yung entrada at malalim yung likuran kasi makakaipon ka ng pera at yayaman ka. Okay. So, practically, the road is curved on that portion. So if you notice, the architecture is like curved on the front, but at the rear, I did a zigzag pattern. Why? Because it's facing east, so I want to create view on every part of the architecture. That's why I want to give views, which you will later see how I did the solution to this architecture. Okay. At the ground floor, it's practically half level down from the road. There's the two-car garage up on the road level, and then you go down a few steps, you enter the porch, and then there's the staircase that brings you up on the second level and 2 levels down on the lower level. But on the ground level, you have the living, the typical living, dining, and kitchen, and a guest bedroom. But I placed another staircase right at the balcony by the dining so that you can access to the patio down below. So this is the second floor when you go up. All are the family bedrooms. We have 3 bedrooms and a master's bedroom with a walk-in closet and toilet and bath. So all corner bedrooms have balconies. So this allowed them to view the east side at the same time the mountain view across the valley. Across the hill. Okay? And on the lower ground is the service area where you can find the maid's room, laundry, dirty kitchen, pantry. At the same time, we have the game room, sitting room, and access to the patio. And there's the access of going down to the lower level where another garage is located. And the lower garage and the lower level is where you can find the garage that leads to the back entry of the house. Okay. So this is the longitudinal section. Now you can see already the column, which I call the stiletto. Practically, the upper portion, which is the master's bedroom, is being carried by the single column, and that's practically almost 5 meters cantilevered on the 3 sides. So actually, inside that is actually a square column. So we just shape it, clad it in aluminum to create the shape of a hill. Kaya naging stiletto ang tawag ko doon. So, okay, now you see the 30 degrees slope of the lot. The garage. And this is the airflow. So, across the hill, where the forested hill, papasok yung hangin, through the rooms and lalabas dun sa may staircase na may mga bintana. Another section. So, very important in tropical design is passive design, is to cross-ventilate the house. Even I'm using a lot of windows. By the way, I'm using like low E glass to make sure that the heat is being lessened. The heat absorption is definitely lessened by using a low E glass. And of course, I'm using a PVC frame. Okay. So this is the front along the main road. On the left is the garage, and then on the right, you can see the second level, which is already the bedroom, the staircase at the corner, and down below is the entrance. But the wedge, the shape, the curved road shaped the entrance. So I want to follow the contour of the road to make it more graceful. But behind that, you can see on the lower level entrance or driveway is the multi-level house already, the multi-level of the different area of the house. So the garage on the right, the balconies on each bedroom on the second floor is cantilevered in such manner it's like reaching out into the forest across the hill. Okay. Another view, which you can see the lower level is already where the garage and the jet ski, the toys of the owner, you know, the jet ski and the car racing cars are being kept. So that's the view from the east. So you can see the stiletto in a blue-clad aluminum and the different levels of the house. But right across that is the hillside with the forested area. This is another view. By the way, the photographer of these pictures is PJ Enriquez, who is right here with us. So if you want good photography for architecture, engage his services. Okay? And I'll show you another view. There, coming out. Okay. A closer view of the stiletto, and you can see the cantilever. All these are aluminum and concrete treatment on the architecture. At dusk, you can see the contrast of the transparency of the light and the opacity of the concrete and then the aluminum cladding. Another view at the night. So it's more animated in the evening. Now I'll show you the interiors. Most of the interiors I do, I patronize local manufacturers. So 90% of the furniture in this house are made in the Philippines. The sofa are custom made by Padua. The tables are by Far East Furniture. The carpet, of course, is Taiping. Okay, this is the view of the living room. Another sitting area by the living room with the high ceiling. The furniture are by Far East Furniture. Okay, you can see the staircase at the corner of that house with rather steel plate looking tiles. It's Neotech from Spain. It's a Spanish tile, so I want to create a more rustic feel in the interior architecture. That's the dining room, overlooking the forest area, which you can see. There's a forested area across the hill. The dining furniture is from Padua as well. The kitchen, of course, with the island, is by Mobile House. So while you're cooking, you're having the view. So like having panoramic glass windows is opening to the elements or the natural beauty of the environment right across the hill. Another view of the kitchen. View from the top looking down into the patio where you can see the L-shaped all-weather furniture. That's the master's bedroom. The balcony on the left, you can see. Okay. go back a bit. What's happening? Okay. So these are the view. We have 3 balconies on that level of the bedroom level. So each of the balcony, you can see each other. So at the same time, it's reaching out into the forest. Okay. Now I come to the aerodynamic design of the kite house. So why it's called the kite house, you will see later. As okay, the site is in Alta Vista. It's in south of Cebu. It's in Pardo. It is in Alta Vista Golf and Country Estate. So it's more than 300 meters above sea level. So that's the site. Okay, so there's an existing house which we finished in 2007, and the owner bought 2 pieces of land at 800 square meter each to make sure nobody will build in front of their house. So after a while, after they finished the house, they felt that they needed a garden and a pool. So the existing house is about more than 1,000 square meters, almost 2,000 square meters. So they decided to build an extension. So what I will show you now is an extension of the existing house. Okay, so that's the site. It's also steep going down to the gorge. So now we created this plan. So the owner doesn't want a typical setup of house that when you enter, you have the garage, you have the living room. So what we did, when you enter, we divided into 2 parts. The garden, and the second part is the deck, which is at the same time the entertainment area. So we have a separate gate for the cars on the right going down to the lower level. So we separated those, and then they wanted a pool, so we decided to put the pool at the edge of the property overlooking the view and the sea, the Mactan Bay. Okay, so basically, when you enter from the road, you have a garden, you go down a few steps, it's which we call the lifestyle area or the lounge and the entertainment area. So having 2 pavilions, on the left is the lounge and on the right is the bar area. So that is the main structure of the house. But then one thing very important aspect of this is to make sure that the roof structure of this in such a way will not block the view. But then the owner has a desire to have a Balinese type of roofing from the very start. Like they were dreaming, okay, which I will show to you later. Okay, the lower level is the private area, which is the master's bedroom with their own living and dining space, the gym, and the guest room. Of course, you can see the garage with the 3 cars parking there. Okay. And another lower level is the the owner is a Dutch venture capitalist and the wife is Filipina. So, dalawa silang mag-asawa sila, but then wala silang anak. But then the wife has children and apo from the previous marriage. So, we built this bedroom so that each of their apo will have a bedroom. So, complete quarters, I mean, they have their own life doon sa level na yan. Kaya we created this space for them. And then the lowest level is the workshop for the services, and then generator, etc., laundry. So practically the entire lot is occupied by the lower level. Okay. So we made a study of the elevation from the existing house with the downward parabolic slope. With this, okay, we created the roof that the owner wanted initially, which is a Balinese pitch roof. But the problem with this, you can see the master's bedroom on the existing house with the pitch roof, matatakpan yung view ni master's bedroom. So, sabi ko, it's problematic kasi sayang naman the view of the Mactan. So, I proposed to have a curved roof instead. Kasi instead of doing a flat roof, which is boring, sabi ko, why don't we make it curved to make it more interesting? At the same time, dito na pumasok yung aerodynamic design ng architecture na to. Okay, so you can see the section in different levels. And we studied the wind flow. Having that cut in the middle of the slope roof brings out the air and reduces the wind pressure into the curved roof. So talagang lumalabas yung hangin, talagang lusutan yung hangin. Honestly, with this size of house, that's total of 3,000 square meters, the owner seldom turn on the air conditioner. So because this is what we call already passive cooling, umiikot yung hangin throughout the house, even on a humid day. So this is the entrance. So okay, I have to like echo or mimic the curve of the existing house using a downward parabola for the canopy of the entrance. Okay? And then when you enter, there's another view. So this is the pedestrian entrance for the guests. The cars are on the left. There's another gate. So when you enter that parabola, you are met with the roof of the kite house with the upward parabola. Now you can see the middle which the glass hovers the hole and which allows the ventilation to cross. Okay? Another view from the entrance. You can see the existing house on the right. There's a master's bedroom on the second level. So hindi na naka-block. So we made sure that she has the view of the Mactan Channel. Another view from the garden to the kite house. The garden overlooking the bay. Battery working. Okay. So you can see from the entrance, there's a few steps going down to the pavilion. So you are met with a long table that they use for entertaining, for outdoor dining. You can see the glass. Even at the height of Yolanda, hindi nabasag yung mga salamin na yan. Of course, yung hangin sa Cebu, but mahangin din, but not as hard as pero it withstood kasi nga lumulusot yung hangin, so hindi natatamaan yung yung wind pressure is much lessened. This is the lounge, and you have a glimpse of the infinity pool on the edge, which is almost like part of the ocean. That's the deck. Another view from the deck to the pavilion. The view of the infinity pool with the submerged lounge chairs. Okay, almost done. That's the cabana where they stay and do their readings, read books. Sometimes they stay the whole day, just read books. This is the infinity pool. Another view of the garden from by the family level. The view from the pool into the roof of the kite house. Hello, where are you? There. Now you can see the top view of the kite. That's why it's called the kite house. Having it like curved and thin slab of concrete makes it so lightweight looking. And having the black columns create the illusion that the structure is floating from the ground. So even at night you can see it's floating. The green treatment on the roof is an artificial turf. Not only it prevents the moisture and heat absorption into the roof, but at the same time, from the existing master's bedroom, you have a pleasant sight. Instead of looking at the concrete slab, you're looking at the green grass throughout the year. Okay, last few slides. This is the sight in the evening. Another view. Okay, that's the bar. This is the staircase going down. Okay, this is the hallway into the breezeway. So I'll show you what we did with the breezeway. So dito lumalabas yung hangin. So instead of a breezeway, ginawa pa rin namin siyang gallery. So may function pa rin siya. So nandun yung mga collection ng mga painting niya. That's the gym. The anteroom of the master's bedroom. Okay, the details of the furniture using locally manufactured. The kitchen and the dining. Those are all locally manufactured furniture. The master's bedroom, all made in Cebu furniture using coco palm veneer. A customized bed, which is 8 foot long, because the owner is almost 7-footer. The Tasmanian veneer walls. Last few slides. Okay, the detail of the chair. The dresser in stingray or shagreen. This is the guest room using bamboo furniture. The bed is using the round pole of bamboo, as you can see. It's treated and it's naturally shaped. Another detail of the furniture with the engineered bamboo on the right, all made in Cebu. The bathroom. And I think that's the last slide. Okay. Thank you very much. So